Well, Kentucky certainly has taken a leadership position on the broadband issue through its ConnectKentucky program, and you all have really bridged the digital divide in that state, and was wondering if you could share some comments on why you think it's been so successful.
Sure, I'd be delighted to. We, in 2003, dealt with some legislation, House Bill 629, which was aimed at the deregulation of all the different communications in the state, and from that we decided to take the approach of putting together a broadband task force. And I was honored to be selected as the co-chair of that. And we met set our priorities early as to what we wanted to do as far as accessibility to the public, trying to first get service to all parts of the state that was possible, ask the different shareholders and stakeholders to come in, and the first order of business, of course, was to develop a map of the unserved areas, and that would be my I think that was probably the biggest thing that came out of it, was that we were able to take a state that had not been had very low as far as national ratings, and by putting the perspective of where the services were, was able to enlist the help of local officials, the different provider groups that wanted to serve our citizens, and put together a real coalition of about 15 to 20 on this task force that came up with some really great ideas.
And the map certainly was a big part of identifying those pockets of the state that were underserved. What was the process? Can you talk a little bit about when you identify those pockets? How do you work with suppliers and getting suppliers to come in, providers to get broadband to those areas? How do you encourage that incentive to get them to come in and serve those areas?
Well, that's one thing. We were able in the state of Kentucky to turn $7 million in actual state incentives into investments from the private sector of in excess of $700 million, which was a phenomenal story. We have, just like many rural states, Kentucky has, we do have, Louisville, Lexington, and the Cincinnati. We have what they call the Golden Triangle area there, which is very heavily populated. And beside that, though, we have 120 counties in the state of Kentucky, and many of them are rural, and most of them have less probably than 30,000. Vast majority of the counties do. And but when you put that map together and get it out to the local officials across the state, the mayors, the county judges, that gets them involved in wanting to recruit. They want to provide these services, for all their constituents and stuff. And the city councils, the fiscal courts of the county and stuff can be very innovative when it comes to calling these providers in and asking them what they can do to help facilitate that. So we found that was the biggest thing, by getting the maps out to the people. I know it was brought up yesterday in one of the meetings. The one gentleman kind of questioned the fact that one of the statements by Brian Mefford, who was our head of helped direct our, and in large part, I'll have to give him a lot of credit for what he was able to do in bringing the group together.
And Brian Mefford's the CEO of Connected Nation.
Connected Nation now, yes, and he was he did our Kentucky Connect initiative, and help was there. Now he's doing the same thing, trying to do the same thing in Tennessee. And he's just a very good consensus builder, and that's what one thing is with this issue. The rural areas have always been the least, I guess, the last to be served. When the electricity lines came, when water lines are run out, they're always, and broadband will be the same. Although I think it'll be a lot quicker to get out to them. The rural areas are just, by their nature of location, are going to be slower. But we will. I think in Kentucky we have noticed a great benefit from our enhancement or our move forward to at least make the broadband available to the people. We've had a lot more people subscribe to broadband, use broadband, and in the educational circles in our schools, the teachers have been able to use the computers and smart boards and stuff like that to. We've noticed a difference in our educational numbers already from that.
Great. Well, sir, we appreciate your time and appreciate your leadership on the issue.
Well, I'm delighted to get to be part of it, and it's an honor to get to be here today and be part of this great conference.
Well, thank you. This is NextGenWeb.org, continuing its coverage from Boston.